Hi folks, this is Chris at Art Secret Studio. I have a little trick here to help those of you who are starting out with oil paint and are frustrated with how hard it is to blend. A little trick, it takes absolutely no talent, but watch the hair on my brush bend and how I vary the pressure on that brush. I hope you enjoyed this. If you do, we have so many more videos on our website from very advanced to very beginning. Let me lead you through this program. I hope you enjoy this.
There's a simple little drawing rule that says we're going to start light, gradually go darker, and the dark on one side is going to be the lightest at the next side. So the dark on one side will be the lightest on the next side. That's a drawing principle that we all know. So what happens with it is the sun is hitting this area and it bleaches out the color. So you don't get to see the true apple color until it starts to move away from the sun. So the true red color of the apple is sitting somewhere around here. So in my mind, I know I'm getting to the what we call local color, but I need to teach you something that's a little more important. I'm going to go ahead and take my orange color, and I'm starting right next to the highlight. I'll show you how to blend the highlight later. I'm not going to paint the bands that we put in. I'm going to keep my stroke probably no larger than 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to wipe it off on the rag, not in the cleaner. Brush cleaner's not your friend. Go ahead and say that. Brush cleaner's not my friend. Go ahead and raise your right arm and say it. The brush cleaner is not my friend. Okay, I'm going to grab from the side of the pile the paint. I need to feel how much paint's on my brush. I never grab from the top and get a glob. Go ahead and say that. I never grab from the top. Sounds like a Presbyterian church. Yeah? Or some occult there was in Texas where they had Kool-Aid.
Oh my God.
Okay. So as I go darker, I'm going to put my paint down. If I absolutely love the color, I leave a little gap away from it. See the space I left? And then my next stroke is next to it. It's running out of paint, and then my next stroke doesn't change the orange at all. If I hate what I did, and I said, oh gosh, that's just too light, it needs to be darker, I don't put a gap there. I go ahead and put the color right next to it, so when I go over it, it'll wipe out a lot of that orange. So I'm very conscious of my previous stroke. Does it do what I wanted it to do? Do I need to protect it or get rid of it? I had to have attitude with get rid of it. And I'm just gonna, in my mind, pretend I know there's those lines there that's in the sample piece, the bands. Does that make sense? So I'm just gonna work my way darker, grabbing the paint from the side, telling the viewer it's gradually darker farther away. Now, Mary, you played with the apples a little bit. I didn't mean that in a demeaning way that your painting is so little and whatever. How hard was it to learn how to blend? And here you are, a tremendous watercolor artist. Was it hard to blend the apples?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks for some reason. So there's a few things that go on. Is I have to know how much paint to put on the brush. So you can watch me paint all day, you can watch an online video all day, but nobody's going to tell you how much paint to put on the brush. You have to figure it out. Too much, it's going to be a mess and hard to blend. Not enough, it won't blend. It has to be just right. But you've never painted, and there is no just right. So you're going to have to paint to figure it out. So I'm picking the apple, the red one here, that we can go over 10 times. So it's casting its own shadow. And then we'll go to the dangerous apples that we could ruin, the yellow ones. Not until I know you know what you're doing do we go to other apples that you can't ruin. Well, you can ruin them, but we can't fix it. So one of the things that I do when I paint, and I grab my color and I put it down, watch how much the brush bends when I push down. Okay, see how much that bent? Then, so what happens is when I bend like that, now when I blend, I touch lighter and lighter until the brush isn't bending at all. Just the paint on the brush is touching the paint on the canvas.